As we all know, there was some good and some bad today, but one thing we can say for absolutely certain, West Virginia found a dynamic duo versus Robert Morris.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is up? Welcome back in, guys. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host, and this is Locked On West Virginia, baby. Well, we're talking about the victory of the Mountaineers on the program tonight. Thanks for joining in, guys, as we dive into some numbers, some opinions, some bacciamore. We're going to talk a little bit about Nicco Marchiol, Cam Vaughn, and this wide receiver room that we've been talking about all offseason long, to go over some things, some talking points that we've had for the duration. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We talk about your team every single day, the Mountaineers, of course. Today's episode is going to be brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is here, and so today, visit the FanDuel app and start planning your future bets now. All right, guys, so the game is over. It has been won, and after reflecting for a few hours, thinking on some things, I think at the end of the day, a couple of things we can derive from this is Cam Vaughn is an absolute stud, and we've known that. I mean, he showed it last year. For me, I think one of the things that, he does so well is he takes the top off the defense. Nope, Island Boy not going to come down. Nope, not happening. I think he is going to be a problem for people going forward, man. Nico's deep balls improved so much. It really has. I'm told that the stadium itself was amazing. I'm glad you guys that went to the game had a great time there. As we were told that the stadium was a very good environment today. So, wrong one. There's that play that they did earlier. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Let's have a look, see the play involving Nicco Marchiol and Cam Vaughn again. And for those of you listening on podcasts, this is that deep go ball to Cam Vaughn today. Nice hookup. So, I mean, just a great pocket, obviously, and one of the things you can see here is the pass protection was good, right? In this situation, it wasn't always good today. And then Nicco Marchiol, just a great ball. If you look at the form on this thing, look at the footwork, right? That left foot barely comes up off the ground. He's got a lot of power into it. But the job Cam Vaughn does at adjusting to it is really where the money is on this play. I mean, watch him adjust this ball over. You know how hard it is to go over your left shoulder to your right like that? It's so difficult to track the ball like that. When you got to go straight backwards and track, that's just so hard. That's a pro move, man. He's just such a speed freak. So we're lucky to have number 4 in goal today. And he is going to be a problem for the foreseeable future for people. There is no doubt about it. Yeah, thanks, Raven. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. And absolutely share the video out too if you can. I would appreciate it so much. Looking back at the box score, I think a couple things that are now showing up as we ask to see more player stats from the West Virginia side of things. So, I mean, everybody had their moments, but obviously Jaheim White had a very steady day with 18 carries, 93 yards. 2 touchdowns and 5.2 yards per carry. That's a three-headed monster, obviously, that a lot of teams are not going to want to deal with. We just have to continue to block better for them. And if we can do that, the sky's the limit for this offense. I think the defense is going to be just salty enough to make, a move on the Big 12 this year. Maybe we can bump up a couple spots than a lot of people projected us, and then even though I projected us, which is right around the middle of the pack. And even though the first half was really bad, and it was, like I said, I said to people earlier in the day, Jacksonville State started out 0-3 because I think, number one, they had, excuse me, guys, 50 plus new players. And then on top of that, they had to start a brand new quarterback. They had to start a brand new running back. They're kind of in the same situation as us last year, minus the starts that Nicco Marchiol already has. And I think if you look after Ohio and into Pitt, I think this team can maybe round into form just a little bit sooner than people think. But we've got to shore up some of the blocking. I wish I could play the tape for you guys. I really do. Actually, I think I have. Let me share a screen with you guys on something here. Sorry, guys. I took my medicine a little bit too. I didn't think I was going to do no video, and I ended up doing one. That's basically what happened. Okay, let's see if I can find it. I'm not sure where I shared it. I think I shared it here. All right. There it is. Okay. So this is just one play, mind you. So I'm not freaking out over this, but this is just one example of what I'm trying to get across to everybody here. Okay, gallery, and we're sharing screen. This is a screenshot of a play that Jaheim White actually scored on, so it's not like it's all bad. But if you look at the right guard spot, a couple times today, I looked up, and Chemo was kind of in the backfield. That this dude here had beat Chemo a couple times today with power. And it just makes me wonder, because if you look at Tykees, he's got his guy walled off. They're just cut blocking in the middle here. And if you look over on the left side, they've got their guys walled off. The only thing preventing this from being just a walk-in is Chemo getting beat here. And I just wonder, did he have a bad day at times? Because he got beat a couple times today. It's not all on him at all by any means. I haven't gone back and watched all the tape. And he's the early one that I've noticed. And it's a shame because I think a lot of us were hoping that he would come on a bit stronger, being that he came from LSU. Here's my theory on him. He played defensive line last year. He's just getting reacclimated back to offensive line. Hopefully, he can get back into rounded in the form. Maybe that guy for Robert Morris is just a really good player. Because it happens, right? We see all the time. There was a guy from Abilene Christian that went in the 4th round last year. There are plenty of dudes that Jamori Robinson came up from UTSA, even though that's not FCS. I mean, FCS has good squads, it's not like they don't. So I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like, that we should be unblockable or unable to be stopped. But I was surprised to see him getting driven back a couple times today. And especially like that, where it's like, okay, and I'll be honest, now it looks like his hand's up in his face mask. So maybe that's why it was like that, and I'm just overlooking it. It's hard to tell with the grainy footage, though. and he's got his hand on that shoulder pad. So hopefully he can do better, and the line can do better. It's not, and like I said, this is just one play, and it's just an example of a few times that happened today. Whenever we got stopped and couldn't get pushed, it really worries me. I felt like going into today, what was one of my talking points? If you guys watched earlier today, one of my talking points was, will the offensive line be able to push him at least 3 yards up into the backfield and get deep up in there? Because that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see domination from the O-line, and it was just about average, So we need that to be much better going forward. And, I don't know. I'm going to watch the Ohio film. Rutgers was definitely able to run the ball on them, so I'm thinking we'll still be able to. But, we can't have any mistakes, because this is probably going to be a game. I anticipate this is going to be probably a 1 or 2 possession game against Ohio, even though they're 0-1. Rutgers was that 30-27 game. I would anticipate our game possibly being, I would see like maybe 27-17 or 30-20, somewhere in there. I could see us winning like that. But show a lot more to. I hate taking this medicine before I came on here. I keep forgetting. But yeah, so other people that made impressions, I think, are what I want to talk about as well here in a minute. But before we get to that, Rich Rodriguez cried today. That was probably one of the shockers of the day, was seeing Rich Rodriguez in the state he was in during Country Roads. It all hit him all at once. And it was emotional for me too. We'll talk about it next. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by Rougiette. Are you Rougiette ready? Because on this episode, we're talking about Rougiette for a lot of reasons. And you probably heard of Viagra or Cialis, and maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to be Rougiette ready. Rougiette Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rougiette's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under the tongue, and it kicks in fast and on average in 15 minutes. Effects can last up to 36 hours, so you better be ready to stay ready. You're going to be confident and in control when the moment is right. If traditional options haven't worked for you, Rougiette might be the answer. Over 150,000 men have already made the switch. You can even read real customer reviews on the site. It's helping a lot of people feel more confident and present in the moment. Head to Rougiette.com/LockedOnCollege and use the code LockedOnCollege for 15% off today. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnCollege and use promo code LockedOnCollege for 15% off your order today. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, and manufacturing review. So do us all a favor and please visit the Rougiette website today for full safety information. It's segment 2. Let's crack open this dew. It's a 10 o'clock at night dew. Is it healthy? No. Is it keeping me awake? Kinda. I appreciate the support, y'all. I wasn't sure how many people would still be awake and ready to. I mean, I know that the game probably took a lot of emotions out of us today. For a lot of us. Yeah, I know I saw that earlier, guys. K-State losing to FCS North Dakota. But, I mean, this is something North Dakota's been doing for years, right? We're not surprised. They do it all the time. This is literally they're the best FCS of all time. Let's just say with Cam Melbourne and we move on. I mean, what a catch, I mean, That is a hard catch, dude, with your head straight back like that. I mean, it's one thing when you've got it over one shoulder or the other, but to go straight back like your exorcist is insanity to me. I didn't think he was going to catch it because it's like PTSD. You watch Sam James and you watch all those guys we've had the last few years. They dropped those balls, man. That ball is dropped under Neil Brown, and at least that's just the way it feels anyway. Maybe we had some that were caught that I'm not remembering, and I'm sure there probably are, but it certainly feels like that ball is caught under Rich Rod and not under Neil Brown for whatever reason. Rich Rod cried after the game. I thought that was pretty newsworthy. Let me fix my chair here. So there's a lot to this. Obviously, for all the reasons we talked about leading up to the game, there is the prodigal son narrative. There's the pressure. I think it was pressure relief to finally just get it done, to get that last, for years and 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 years now. It's literally been the last game I played, in West Virginia has been a loss. You get that monkey off your back. You're off the schneid, as Boomer would say from NFL Countdown. It is. But you're off the schneid, and you're back to your winning ways again, and you're second all time, surpassing the great Dana Holgerson of all people. I can't believe Dana Holgerson's second all time in wins, but either way, or he was. I think he either tied or surpassed Dana today. And, watching Rich Rod after the fact, I think I have, if I pull it up here, I thought I made a thumbnail for it, but maybe I didn't. Let me see. I may have made a thumbnail for it, as a matter of fact, here with the Rich Rod emotions going on and everything. No, I did not. I thought I did. But yeah, so Rich Rodriguez was an emotional mess after the game, and I got pictures of it on my phone here. Let me just pull one up. Did I share one anywhere? I don't think I did. But let's see. Let's go to gallery. And for those of you listening on podcast, I'll explain to you kind of what it looks like. But here it is right here for those of you that can't. So this is the picture of Rich Rod after the game. Yeah, there you go. There's a picture of Rich Rod after the game where he was, pretty emotional. And I'm not surprised anywhere by any means. I'm not saying that. It's just, I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. I really wasn't. I thought for sure he would be same old Rich Rod. I thought he would be, kind of stone cold on to the next one, and he wasn't. He actually let his emotions show through, and they gave him the game ball, which is what I want to show next. So here's Rich Rod getting the game ball from Rim Baker and crew. Let's go to West Virginia football's page. I think it's right there on that. Yeah, right here.
Back home. Yes, great job today, Coach. Welcome back home. Yes, great job today.
So you can tell right here. Wait, right there. You can tell it means a lot to him. It means a lot to me too. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to somebody. I'll show you all the text. Somebody said, so I said to somebody, let me get this off the screen here. I said, it's my buddy from Locked On Kansas State. I said, at least you're able I said, at least you're able to communicate like a healthy, well-adjusted adult. When West Virginia loses, I turn my phone off and lay in the dark to watch Rick and Morty. And he said, football is just a vehicle. It's entertainment, sweetheart. And I thought, what? He must not know us very well, because this is my response. I mean, this is the truth. I mean, maybe I'm the only one that's like this. I don't know. But I said, that's your perspective. And I try and understand that. But for us, it's the representation of our state. People always looking down on our state and my family. My father passed on, and he was the biggest West Virginia fan ever. And he was. I said, it's the only bonding I ever did with him. So I've always taken it way too serious for a lot of reasons. I am better than I was during the 05 to 12 years, somewhere in there, when we were like, when it was so much pressure back then, because one loss and you're out. We were always on the cusp of possibly, in the beginning of the year, we were legitimate national championship contenders for like 5 or 6 years. So it was a lot of pressure to be a fan then, because if we lost, we were done, right? It was rough, man. It was rough. So let's go to break really quick. On the other side, who we got to talk about next? Sincere Bowers. He messaged me. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by FanDuel, y'all. We're talking about FanDuel on this one for multiple reasons. And the biggest of all, August 26th is FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live in bold predictions. Looks like August 26th may have already passed, but and preseason hunches. FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling for an MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. You can only do it at FanDuel. Play your game. And, of course, we have just a little question for you guys, an important request, if you will. Locked On wants to hear from you. We put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 gift cards from Amazon. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. No, you can't. Thanks for helping out. All right, guys, let's get a drink of dew here really quick. You guys know, I don't care to publicly say it. And we can go back a ways and probably prove it if you want to. Actually, I know you guys don't care, but let me just be honest. It's fun for me to do, so it's like, when you go out on a limb for things, it's not like, in my opinion anyway, when you go out on a limb for things, let's see, Sincere Bowers, and I've probably got a few of these on here. But if you look back to, let's see, I don't know how long it's going to let me go back for this. I think I probably went a little too far on there. It seems like it may have registered too many different things, but let's see. So how far back do I need to go for this? December 30th, 2024. No, I'm sorry. August. Why are these so jumbled up and different? I wonder if, well, I was going to try to find a couple of the posts I had from Sincere Bauer, or where I was talking about Sincere Bowers, just by type, because a lot of time you just type the name in and it'll kind of pop up, right? So there's me in June. Let's see, people. I don't know what this is going to show here, but I know you guys don't really care. Like, and you guys, if you watch the show, you know, I know you do. It's just I wanted to be able to show it, right? So, anyways, I've been talking about Sincere Bowers for a very long time. You know, I was probably, I think I was the first public person. I mean, there may have been people uh, off the record that was talking about him for sure, no doubt. I don't doubt that at all. Um, but you know, for me, I've been on him for a long time, and I felt like a lot of people gave me crap for it when I did it. As a matter of fact, yeah, if I type in, maybe if I type in BIP list, that might be a better, because BIP and I were on this pretty early on. Let's see. Not showing BIP's list on there again. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter that much, does it? So you know, Cam Vaughn's a guy that I believed in for a long time, and I still believe in. You know, sometimes I got to be careful because I want to push it and say he should be the starting running back some days. Like I really do. I really do get to that point with it sometimes. I get a little overzealous. Obviously, Jaheim White's earned the job that he has and all that, and he has. But Sincere Bowers is a guy that, you know, I really do think Sincere is, he just needs more carries in the offense. I think he needs more um, experience as well. But I mean, with what he did today was pretty good. Now the O line they blocked really well on a couple of these. If you look, like it's kind of on this little counter bash play, but I mean, there's penetration, right? There's one guy, there's two guys. So I mean, there was some penetration on these, no doubt about it. So um and it's with the backups, you know. So and they still had their starters in from what I gather. But I mean, he's so silky smooth, just like butter. He really is. You know, he looks like he's put on some weight. I'm not gonna lie, since he got here. He looks like he's put on some weight, but I mean, he's just so subtle with his movements. Obviously, I don't know how that guy ran by him right here, but he did. And once he gets to here, it's kind of hard. I mean, as you can see, he just moves. He moves so much faster than everybody else.
It's Bowers again, and Bowers left side. Bowers.
He's just like a bullet shot up out of the train, you know. That's just Sincere for you. He had a great day today. You know, 57 carries on, or 57 yards on 6 carries or whatever it was. So, you know, I'm a big fan of old Sincere. And I think, you know, a lot of people are coming around to him now as well. Also, Jalen Henderson looked really good today. That's not Jalen, but Jalen looked really good today when they let him do anything. He just didn't get enough opportunities. And, you know, he could have went to a business for himself and not handed the ball off to anybody, but he didn't do that. He handed the ball off. He played within the flow of the offense, you know, because if I was him, I would have wanted to show off and try to show what I could do. He didn't do that. He straight up just handed the ball off, and as a result, Sincere got some touches. But you know, if you don't know who Sincere Bowers is, he's a transfer. He's a JUCO guy. He's the number one rated running back, JUCO running back in the country by my measure. He actually wasn't rated the number one, but I mean, he was up. He was one of the top 2 or 3. But and most had him. You know, some had him 2, some had him 3. And how did I find out about him? I could find it on my X page if I dove deep enough and do a deep dive. For whatever reason, it just wouldn't show it just now. But I think it was, I remember now. I remember now. So the talk was, remember when he first committed, we weren't sure if he was going to be a 2026 player or a 2025 player because he had technically been, well, I think I have the messages somewhere. Let's see if I can find them with somebody. Yeah, so if I go here, okay. If I, well, I don't want to do all that. Let me get out of there. Oops. Wasn't trying to do that. Why is it pulling them all up like that, all big? Normally I have them down here like this. Frustrating sometimes dealing with this technology. See if we can find Bip. There's Bip right there. Okay, so if I go back far enough, I'm sure I can find let's see. And we haven't talked a lot about different players, obviously, but there's been Bogle. Okay, because I think the very first things we were talking about was Sincere Bowers. No, Ben Bogle, and then what I was going to show you guys was where somebody was telling me that Sincere was going to be not. Yeah, here we go. That JUCO running ball y'all got. Sincere Bowers, he's a monster. That was May 13th, 2025. He said best running back I've watched in either portal. And then I said JUCO Frenzy has him ranked number 1. He's a baseball equivalent to a 5-tool player. He has him ranked number 1 in the portal. He's a weapon in the backfield, number 1 running back. So he's obviously he's really big on him too. And then a lot of Reggie Bush to his game, which is a great comparison. I'm trying to find where he says. So here's where we started talking about, if he stays another year, it's going to be different. His offer list is nowhere near as extensive as it should have been. And I agree 100% because, what was going on was he was considering staying in JUCO for another year. And that was the narrative that was going on around him, was that he needed to stay in JUCO another year. And everybody pretty much knew, like, he's going to get some major offers. Like, the truth is, y'all, if he stayed in JUCO one more year, we probably don't get him. So I knew it was big when we got him. I was already amped up about it because I thought he'd verbally committed to us, but he wasn't coming till next year. And so I was in constant communication, like, you change your mind, you're going to do it. And whenever that came down that he decided to stay, I did another video on it, like we just landed him. Because to me, it was like that. Because I knew if he went to next year as the JUCO running back, he was going to have 2,000 yards, and we weren't going to get him. And thank God he reclassified to this because we need him now. I think we need him now. I think he's our number 2 guy. He needs to be our number 2 guy. Obviously, I don't know better than Rich Rod. Never claimed to do that. But, I mean, really seriously, man, you got a guy, Sincere Bowers, that runs 4.35 in the 40 right here. He's a 1.49 10-yard split guy with elite speed and elite, he's got some wiggle to his game. The Reggie Bush comparison is really good because he's got that wiggle to him, right? And he can receive out of the backfield. You can line him up in the slot. You can do so much with him. And if you just give him carries, I don't know. Now, here's the thing. Here's where – so I don't know where he's at physically as far as taking the load. I don't know. I don't know how many carries he can handle. And I think that's something we're going to probably see him try to build up to. I'm not trying to take anything away from Clay Ash. I think my love for Sincere Bowers probably makes it seem like I don't like Clay Ash. Clay Ash ran extremely hard today. He really did. Like, I noticed that Clay Ash's mom, at least that I know of, quit watching this channel. And I don't blame her, to be honest. Like she messaged me on the side once and was like, "Hey, my son's pretty good, you know." And I think she was probably getting discouraged that I wasn't talking about Clay as much that I should have. I just sometimes you get a generational talent and you know it and nobody else knows it and you want everybody else to know it. And that's where I was at with Sincere. Obviously, he hasn't proven all that on the field yet, but it's my belief that if he's given the chances, he will be one of the best running backs in all college football and in the Big 12. We just need to give him the chances. And I don't know if he can, I just don't know physically if he's ready for that. But if he is, then you're talking about a game changer for us because he's faster than Jaheim. And he's also got the same kind of wiggle as Jaheim. And he's a little bit bigger. I think he's got as much upside as Jaheim is. And here's another thing. He doesn't go down on first contact very much. Jaheim today, one of the things that frustrated me with him was he kind of goes down a little easy sometimes, you know, especially on first contact. You know, as to where CJ, that's one thing I can say for CJ last year. You know, a lot of times when you're in the hole and you got to stiff arm that first guy, like Scotty Fox said earlier, that's something that Sincere does really well too. Ty Edwards does it well. Even Clay Ash did it well today at times. But for whatever reason, Jaheim, he needs that hole to be kind of open to get through the crease. That way he can get momentum because if he's just trying to get going, he goes down really easy, in my opinion. It's one of his only – and he put on a lot of muscle this year, and I was hoping that it would fix that a little, but it didn't quite, in my opinion. So, you know, I think we got to have a guy that is a change of pace to Jaheim in a way. But also I think we need a guy that can do a little more than Jaheim sometimes even. Like I believe Sincere is a bigger home run threat. If you just give him the rock, I think Sincere is more of your between the 20s kind of running back. Or maybe not the 20s. Like I think you can use Jaheim on most of your drive and you turn to a guy like Sincere once you get out past the 50 where you're in home run territory for sure. That's where I think Sincere's dangerous, and you can play them both at the same time. Keep in mind this as well, guys. They didn't even use – what did I tell you? Rich Rod said in his press conference after the game. I told you guys on the very last show we just did. Rich Rod said they didn't use even a third of – I mean, they didn't even use a third of their plays. So they were being very – and that's something probably I need to consider as well when judging the O-line. If it was vanilla to me, imagine how vanilla it was to Robert Morris, who had to study for it all offseason. They knew what was coming, right? So that probably shades it in their favor a little bit, you know, especially pre-snap. Post-snap, we just beat them on the blocks most of the time, and that was fine. But you know, there's a lot of evaluation. I don't envy our coaches this week. They've got a ton of evaluation to do. But I'll just say this. Next week, I would love to see Sincere Bowers get 10 or 12 touches against Ohio and also in the air too, because he can do that. Like if it was up to me, obviously Cam Vaughn's number one. You could probably make Jaden Bray right there-ish number two, obviously. But, I mean, if I'm going to line somebody out and throw a screen at them like they were doing with they did with Cam Vaughn a couple of times today. They, you know, did it a couple of times. Sincere Bowers is absolutely one of the guys I'm lining up out there and just throwing one to because he's so fast, right? He makes people miss in space so easily. You know, so hopefully it eventually happens for him. And we'll see where that goes if and when it does. Obviously, I don't care who we play as long as we win. But if you're asking me, I think as long as he's able to take the load, I think Sincere, right? I think he's probably eventually going to be our best back. And that includes Jaheim at some point. I don't think he'll overtake him, maybe not this year. And then Jaheim probably won't even be back next year, regardless of the draft, or maybe he comes back. I don't know. But I could see big things in the future for Sincere. So Appreciate you guys for letting me go on about that a little bit. Obviously, I'm, the biggest sincere Bowers guy ever. But I think he's earned that today. I think he's shown exactly what he could do in just a couple carries. So, trained follower says that he played in trash time against a non-power 4 team that was worn out. Really not the point. It was his first carries in the power 4 for a power 4 team. And it's pretty easy to see. And you just turn on the tape. Just turn on the tape, dude. It's not hard. I don't know why I do that. It's so silly. Trying to back out of the screen and then I accidentally clicked back on the back button. Sorry. All right. I think that's all I got for tonight, y'all. Yeah. Sir Paul Cheeks will be here in 2026. That's correct. Yeah, we got some good running backs coming. That's for sure, y'all. We got a lot going on, man. But yeah, Rich Rod, man, he cried. That was an interesting thing. I can't wait to see more. I think the best way to finish this episode is with a little country roads. What do y'all say?
Quarterback keeper.
I wish I could play more of it, but it'll probably catch me with a copyright strike if I play it. That's how good YouTube's algorithm is. Like it can hear music in the background and be like, you don't have permission to play that. So let me know in the comments how y'all feel. Should Sincere Bowers be second string? Should it be third string, fourth string? Do you not believe? Do you think Clay Ash needs to stay at number 2? Do you think Ty Edwards needs his shot at number 2? You could convince me of that as well. Ty Edwards, I think the only reason he didn't play as much today was because he was so late getting back. Let's see what happens against Ohio. I have a theory about him too. I think we didn't see Ty Edwards much today because Rich Rod was holding him out for Ohio and beyond. That's what I think. And if we can get away with it, we won't even unveil him until Pitt. That's my opinion. I think we would, if we can somehow, beat Ohio next week we can jump out to an early lead, 20, 21, 28 points, where we don't have to unveil very much. I do believe that they're trying to keep a lot of bullets in the chamber for Pitt. We'll see if they can. We might have to empty it next week against Ohio. That's going to be a super interesting game to break down. Parker Navarro may be the best player on the field at times next week. He's that good. And I'm going to try to find some tape of him for tomorrow to show you guys that maybe haven't seen him yet, because he is – he's a 4-4 guy at quarterback that can really sling it around, he's got like Will Greer type arm. He's very accurate. He can really make all the throws. And then you look around and he's got Garrett Green type wheels. Like he's very – I know I've said it a few times on the show now, but Parker Navarro should have got $2 million from Power 4 team. And I don't know how Ohio was able to hold on to him, especially after he's won 20 games as their starting quarterback, is beyond me. But they figured it out a way. Even some of these group of fives have donors, somebody probably gave him some money to stick around. Maybe they gave him $800K or $1 million and that was enough. I don't know, but Navarro absolutely scares the crap out of me next week. And maybe it's because I'm so used to that, that Jordan Leslie defense. I probably won't. It's like PTSD. I'm probably not going to be over it until I see a little more, because I do think our defense was bailed out today by bad throws. There were wide open receivers at times. Like, we should have definitely had more put up against us than got put up. And any other Power 4 team or Ohio would have executed on some of them throws wide open. Like, I can take you 3. There was a wide open play down the seam that they missed. It would have been like 30 yards. He just missed it. There was that out route where the big strong looking guy, kind of looked like Kevin White, ran an out route wide open and he just missed it. And then there was one to, I think it was deep to the receiver where the receiver just, I don't know if it was looking miscommunication, but yeah, they had a lot of stuff going on. So appreciate you guys for jumping in here. Like the video, share, subscribe, the whole 9, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Good night, and I'm out of here. Make sure you check out Locked On Portal. Definitely make sure you do that. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings, and you can be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape with Locked On Portal today on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Good night, guys, and let's go, Mountaineers!